All right. All right. Yeah, please go ahead, John.
So the people who stay behind, um, they're the ones who are going to be the warriors fighting the or whatever doing spiritual warfare with the remaining low vibration beings,
Right.
correct?
Yes.
Um, and then at the end, when that's over, the it's the second coming.
Correct.
Then what happens to those people? Um, so the question is, these the people who are leaving, it doesn't sound too bad. You know, you get your memories erased. You live a
No,
beautiful.
you do not get your memory erased.
Oh, that's right. They do. You don't. Yeah, that's right. Whatever
That
you
would
get.
be the same thing that happened here. I mean, everybody's recycled and they don't remember anything from their past life, so they never really learn anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
I knew that. I just there was a slip,
Yeah,
but
well, I've made a few bumps. I've had a few bumps in that area as well. So,
yeah, it sounds pretty good.
mhm.
Whatever, they're going to be healed. They're going over that amount of time. They're going to learn how to live like we've always been meant to live.
Mhm.
They're going to, and then they're going to build it up. I mean, frankly, that sounds like heaven on earth. Now, those who are left behind are fighting the evil guys. Then there's the second coming. But then what? What's? I mean, that's great. I'm not trying to be flippant, but
Sure.
uh, what's the end result? I hate to say payoff, but
Oh, well, there's definitely a payoff. Besides getting to see Christ returning and all the things that will happen here during that, and, everyone gets taken up into the clouds. The people in Abraham's bosom and the people who are still here on the earth, that are the saints and the star seeds, they all get taken up into the clouds with Jesus, and we'll be on like white horses and everything. I mean, it'd be incredible. So when after the judgment of Jesus of the wicked here, and the saints and starseeds will actually assist with those judgments, then this system will be completely destroyed by fire, and the all the people who are going to heaven with Jesus, which are the two groups we just said, those in Abraham's bosom and the starseeds and saints, that then they have a stargate as well that will take them to their new heaven and new earth that's mentioned in the Bible as well. Now, a lot of people think that's new heaven and new earth is going to be here. No, that's for the saints and the star seeds and the people in Abraham's bosom. It's every group of beings here in this realm is upgrading to the next level, which is why the star seeds are here. They're helping to, or they're not helping, they are generating the upgrade for the angelic race. So we'll be stargating out to the Spica star system, where there is a real planet that's called Nova Gaia, New Earth, and we will reside there. That will be our heaven, a new heaven and a new earth.
will that be something similar to what the people who are the mid-range people? How will it be different?
Well, because we'll be like 7D and up. 5D is the lowest you can be in heaven. But after the upgrade, I would think that we'll all be at 7D and up. And it's just like being in a video game when you say, okay, let's see, I want to go on this adventure and I'll need this, and this. So you just, you look over here at all your options of what you would need for your adventure, and you just go, okay, I want that. And you have it right there. You have it. And we'll be, after 1,000 years of peace and rest, which, the angelic, the host, the angelic host, the angelic armies, the angel armies, they've been fighting these enemies for eons, and they deserve a rest, and as do we will need it too, after the great tribulation period of taking down these spiritual entities behind the wicked people. So we'll not only be we'll be resting and enjoying for 1,000 years, and then after that we can start going on assignments. And I have an assignment that I'd like to do. I've already thought of one that I'd like to request that I could do, and Nazi would like to do it with me. And it is to go around to the different galaxies and document different species, different races, and in the area of what is their, how do they express silliness? So that's an assignment that I would love to have. Now that's a kind of a a silly assignment indeed, but
Fun.
I think many of us also can volunteer to go and check on those in the New West to see how they're doing as well.
And
Interesting.
if I understand right, you won't have a body, right?
You
You'll
don't
just
need
be
a
spirit,
body. You
right?
don't need a body. You'll be like an ethereal being. But if you want to present with a body, you certainly can. All you have to do is just will it.
But make sure you pop into my new place, okay? Visit me.
Oh, are we going to have tea?
Yeah, I love tea.
All right.
All right.
And one other thing, what is Abraham's bosom?
Well, it's like an interdimensional zone that's it's inside the earth, and it's just a holding place because no one goes to heaven. Um, Not yet. You don't go to heaven until we get out of here and go to Nova Gaia, to the new heaven and new earth. So even an infant that dies here does not go to heaven. They go to Abraham's bosom to wait for the second coming. Now, these are infants and those who are what we call saved in the Christian world, who have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ and who live for him and follow the rules. I hate to say it like that, but follow Jesus. They're followers of Jesus. And so they live as much like him every moment of every day as they can. Those are the true saints. And there's been many before us. And once they have that experience, they're pulled out of that recycle reincarnation program that the enemy used their advanced technology to set up. So once they're pulled out, they got to have somewhere to wait until they're, till the end when they're drawn up to heaven and then stargated out of here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very
Good
much.
question.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a hand up with Rob.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
All right, I have a hard time wrapping my head around the logistics.
All right.
Meaning you said, I mean, I'm not trying to pick this apart, but you said that pets will be included too.
Right.
And I have a dog. He's very high maintenance because of his specific breed. He demands certain his structure and whatnot. And I noticed that also too, there's a lot of people that have different pets. Some people have fish, some people have hamsters, some people have guinea pigs. I mean, the list can go on about the different pets that people have. How is that going to work?
I'm talking about the type of pets that you would call domesticated pets. I don't think fish would fall into that,
Okay.
or rabbits or anything. These are pets who come into their lives knowing that they're going to be sharing their lives in a close relationship with a human, and
Okay.
they choose to do that. And we've talked about this before. Humans live on this roller coaster ride, and the wild animals, they came in saying, I don't want to do that. I would much rather be out here in the wild and butt heads with
Okay. So,
deer.
so like fish, so pretty much fish would be considered kind of like captive, right? Like they've been captured and like forced to be pets, whereas maybe like dogs and cats, like you said, domesticated animals,
Right.
they've actually chosen to be, and I've kind of had that. I've had dogs all my life, and I've always felt that way, that I was put in a position, to have this specific dog at this specific time to give him this specific life that he
Right.
deserves. So, okay. I just wanted to wrap my brain around that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
Cool.
All right.
Good
Thank you.
question.
And don't back off of any questions, if you feel like it's like trying to unwind something, because that's hopefully I've got the answer.
Yeah, yeah. I have. Go ahead, Nancy, please.
I was just gonna say, that's why we're doing the Q&A, so that you can ask any kind of questions you have and feel very comfortable doing it.
Okay. I also wanted to mention, I don't know if you noticed it, but a couple weeks ago, I forgot who was presenting it, but they were in Trump's office and they presented the World Cup trophy. It was made out of solid gold. I don't know, you didn't see that? And it was circular in nature, and then they inserted a key and unlocked it,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it opened up like a gyroscope,
Wow.
and it reminded me, and some people mentioned it on a Rumble channel. I think it was Eye of the Storm. They talked about it, and it because it turned into a gyroscope, it looked like from the movie Contact, there was like a giant gyroscope that was actually for time travel. And I just couldn't help but, what you're talking about with Trump and time travel, I couldn't help but wonder if that was sort of like a hint and a nod to those of us who have the eyes to see. But yeah, the FIFA World Cup trophy that will be here in the United States, um, it's pretty cool. I just wanted to mention that.
And yeah, I'm always looking
Yeah.
for, hints from Donald Trump. The biggest hint he gives lately is we're entering a new golden age.
Yeah, I hear that too. He says a golden age, a renaissance. He's used the word renaissance, which is a renewing.
What do you think during his rally speech, he talked about this will be the last time you vote? That upset a lot of people because they were complaining, oh, maybe he's going to be, continue on ruling.
Dictator. Yeah.
Yeah.
No question that Donald Trump says some pretty enigmatic things from time to time.
Right.
Yeah, that triggered some truthers.
Sure it did. Absolutely.
But I think that's a hint.
Good.
If you're out of here, of course, this will be the last time you vote.
Right.
Yeah, we start seeing hints all over the place. It gets really interesting. Did Michael iPhone have a hand up earlier?
Right. Michael?
Nope, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But I have heard that Trump will be the last president.
Sure.
Yeah, that's out there.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, there's that book by Ingersoll Lockwood called The Last President. 1900 is the title, and then the subtitle is The Last President, and he's on Fifth Avenue, exactly where Trump Tower is. It's crazy.
I'd be really interested if you could talk about New Earth and the New West.
New West versus New Earth. Okay. Yeah, a lot of comments that get put underneath videos that are about these topics. People are always saying, that they can't wait for the new Earth. And they're confusing the New West with the New Earth. And it's not just a nitpicky thing, because the new heaven and the new earth are for the saints, and the new West is for the mid-range people. So they're totally different places. They're in totally different star systems. and totally different kinds of realms. One thing about the New West too that might not be just apparent without somebody saying it is that they're going to have a money system because that's what they want. These people are not done playing the game, and they want to go and have the American dream and all that. These are people from all over the world, and they want to have money. They want to, that's what they want to experience. They want to experience what they were denied here. And, but I've not been told what type of money system they will have. But we have to remember that they're coming in with technology already being a part of their world, and we're talking higher technology than here because they'll have Nikola Tesla there. He'll be like he'll be over all of the technological sector of business there. And so whatever he can come up with, he and his the people that he hires, that's what life will be like in the New West. They'll have a much higher degree of technology there than we do here.
They're gonna love it.
Yep. The first thing they'll start doing is building out there's Diane, is building out a space program, because they're going to have to learn how to be outside of their initiatory realm, to get out through the sun gate and to actually guard their sun gate from invasion. So the sooner they can build out a real space program, the sooner they can keep their realm safe from invaders. Very important. So you might be buzzing around in flying cars if you're going to the New West. And, people talking about how drones can be programmed where they can fly, just like Blue Angels right next to each other and never hit each other. You don't even have to worry about it. It's programmed into the path.
Yeah, it's like birds.
Yeah.
Birds flying in a flock,
Yeah, exactly. Good analogy.
Diane, are you ready with your question now that we can see you?
Yeah, I've been impacted a lot by Elon Musk lately.
Mhm.
And, I've kind of reserved judgment. But I personally kind of feel like he's evolving. He's, almost like spiritually evolving. Or we're beginning to see it, one or the other. I'm not fit to determine what that is. But definitely have been impacted lately by every interview that I see of him. He is getting, I don't even want to say anxious, but very insistent on timing, and we need to get moving, as far as building out so that we can go to Mars. Now, whether that's really Mars or not, and that's what's beginning to work on me. I kind of feel like he is, a role of his is to get people ready for this idea of space travel. But I'm beginning to wonder if it's, that's just kind of like a red herring, just what we're being told for right now. And he also, a lot of AI is very frightening to people for good reason, in the wrong hands. But he also had in an interview the best answer I've seen or heard yet for how do we prevent AI from being harmful to humans. And I think it was in the CPAC, a recent interview. And he said, well, first of all, a continual strive for truth. You program them, the AI with a continual strive above all for, truth, and a curiosity, a constant curiosity. That way the AI will always be interested in what humans are going to do next. And I thought about that, and I was pretty impressed with that answer. He's the only person that I've heard of answer that, and in addition, it's kind of like, well, that's kind of talking about the better angels of our nature. So I just wondered if you have any impact, or any knowledge or anything you're willing to share about Elon Musk and his involvement in, some of this.
Well, about all I can say for sure is that he would be going to the New West And I'm sure he will be a leader there. Now, as far as his transformation, I, let me toss this out to you guys. I used to try to watch him a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, before he went through his transformation. And old clips, new clips, whatever I would find on him. And I'd listen for as long as I could, but then after a while, I was like, he's not saying anything. And they're all just like licking his boots and calling him a genius. And it's like I'd never heard him say anything of any significance about any topic, period, not just about space travel. And then, he went through this transformation after Trump's assassination attempt. So, so it's like, I don't know, how they're pulling this off. He had nothing to say that I ever heard him say that was intelligent. And now all of a sudden, every time I listen to him, I'm like, yes, I understand everything you're saying, and I'm loving what you're saying, and you're saying things that nobody else is saying, and you're able to say them to millions and bazillions of people. And it's like he's just had this incredible transformation, but I don't know how they're doing those type of things unless it's just God.
I've heard, I heard they took out the old Elon, and then there's a new Elon that's in his place now, and that's who we're seeing. And they've done it with a lot of people.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Elons. I can't help but I've seen the evidence that he never looks the same. His weight changes a lot. His height changes a lot.
Yeah, like Trump.
Just like Trump.
The height changes a lot, and also too, he's an expert on every single subject, whether it's politics, whether it's space travel, even down to video games. He's supposedly like one of the top 10 in this video game, and that's virtually impossible because of the amount of hours you have to spend to be in the top 10 in the entire world. He's an expert on pop culture, TV shows, movies, and he's running all these businesses. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. And I love how Mike King calls him Elon Musk, because sometimes you can see a line.
Okay.
And again, he changes a lot. So
interesting. You should say that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No. I was just saying that it seems like they flipped him, or they did something. They swapped him out, and they're using him for good. Like they're taking a lot of the stuff that was used for evil, and they flipped it because when there's up, there's down. You can change things and reverse it, and I think that's what they've done with him.
I guess that's what I'm seeing, and you explained it better. And yeah, you're right. And it's kind of like, okay, he's doing all this stuff. When is he sleeping? It's like,
it doesn't add up.
Yeah, it's almost, it doesn't add up. And like you say, so I guess I'm saying it seems like it's somebody who is being put up front to explain workings behind the scenes. Yeah, that would make more sense. Yeah,
I mean, because of his following, he's got a massive following, right? So they've got the like Jetson said to me, they've got the Elon bootlickers, and so now he's literally wakened so many people up and actually flipped them as well. When he was once, I believe he was brought in to bring in the mark of the beast, which is the X platform and all that.
And whether people like him or not, everybody knows who he is. So he has a big reach. Yeah. Far and wide.
Yeah, because he definitely was on the globalist agenda for sure with Tesla and all that stuff. So.
But, and I'm even getting to the point where I'm beginning to realize and think to myself, we certainly don't want to take the mark of the beast, and we do not want to have anything to do with the beast. But, even the good we're doing is propelling us in that direction, because if you believe those things are going to happen, they're going to happen. If you believe biblically, as I do, that you're not going to stop that. Nothing can stop what's coming. But that doesn't mean we can't do something about it. And so, even those actors that were bringing it about or whatever, I guess it's hard for me to express, but basically we don't want to be on the side of the beast. But if what we're doing is speeding things along to that, then what we're doing is speeding things along also to our new West, our what we're looking forward to, what we're trying to do. So yeah,
Right.
it's very complex.
Now, the way I understand prophetic things in the Bible is that angels can time travel. They can just step through time and walk through it. Um, and I think anytime there's a prophetic word in the Bible, it's not a prediction. It is they've actually been there and they saw what happened, and they're just giving the information to a human who's reporting back what has happened. So there's nothing that can be done to stop this mark of the beast thing coming, but it won't start happening until after the rapture event. That's all part of the Great Tribulation period. The rise of the Antichrist. And we even know who it is and where he's going to be doing this abomination of desecration, desolation, something like that. We know where it's going to take place. So all these things will happen, but like I say, most people don't understand. They think that the prophecies are predictions and that they can somehow be altered, but they're not predictions. It's like, okay, this is what happened in the future, and now we're reporting it back to you.
It sounds like it's going to be Obama nation, right?
I don't know what that means. I mean,
for the Antichrist, Obama?
No,
maybe?
No, he's
No?
not the Antichrist. No.
Oh, okay.
Right. If you want anybody that wants to know, I'll tell them who I think it is.
Yeah, I'd like to know who you think it is.
I think it's well, most people don't know that Prince William's name. He's got several names, William, Philip, blah blah blah. One of his names is Arthur, and so when Charles dies, he just went in the hospital today, guys. Again, King Charles, right? And everybody see that?
No, I didn't see it.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, today.
So when King Charles dies, Prince William will become King William, but he'll be King Arthur because his name is King Arthur. And he's like the chosen one because he has the blood from all 13 of these hybrid reptilian families, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, I don't know all the names of them because I don't study their side of the stuff. But you know who I'm talking about, these 13 families who have ruled for eons here on this earth. And so he's the only one, he's the only fake royal, who has the blood from all 13 families. They manufactured it to be that way. And they manufactured his birth date to be on like a lunar eclipse and just all sorts of stuff to where he fits all the stuff that needs to happen in both the Bible and in their weird world, their weird religion.
Now we covered him in this series, right?
Right. The collective mission is covered.
Right. I'll put a link for that in the chat box.
107 had talk about that if you have patience to hear the whole story.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I missed Juan. I haven't heard him in a while.
Right.
Is he still doing
I've
interviews?
seen him here and there. He's not out doing presentations like he used to all the time. He personally, I think he's JFK Jr. And JFK Jr. was a prosecutor, a lawyer, and I think he has a big, huge law team that works under him, and he's working with them now more than ever. So I think it limits his time that he has. Plus, it's kind of like he's kind of already played his role out.
Yeah.
And now he's more like focused on his law stuff.
But I don't remember where I heard it, but I heard it a few times and it's all playing out too, just like you said, that King Charles now is in the hospital, that his reign was going to be very, very short. And I might have been Juan who mentioned it, but I don't remember who. But it's now that you're saying that he's in the hospital, it's all seems to be playing out, just like I had heard before. Right.
And it will be Israel that declares him the Messiah.
he goes in the hospital and the Pope comes out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I heard the Pope was doing better or something like that, but
Some people say he's on ice right now, just like the Queen.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now I think we need to get over to the questions that we've received from some people that can't be with us. We've got a question from a chap named Paul in the UK. So he can't be with us because of the time difference.
Right. And he says, do you think that any of Nikola Tesla's technology was weaponized? That is interdimensional travel?
So interdimensional travel is not really what Tesla discovered and was working on. Interdimensional travel has to do with what we call the fourth dimension here. So it's not really what Tesla was about. But if that first part, do you think any of Nikola Tesla's technology was weaponized? Well, I found this quote from Tesla. Oh, wait. No, it's by someone who got it from Tesla. So it says, during the period in which the negotiations were being carried on, Tesla declared efforts had been made to steal the invention. So I don't know, which invention this is talking about. It might be the ones that the stuff that was in the trunks, that was left in his room after he died, or after one of him died. So there was Tesla saying that there was an attempt to steal the invention. I don't know which one he's referring to. I can guess. His room had been entered and his papers examined, but the thieves or spies left empty-handed. There was no danger, Tesla said, that his invention could be stolen, for he had at no time committed any part of it to paper. He could trust his memory to preserve every fine detail of his investigations. This was true, he said, of all of his later major discoveries. And if you've ever dug into what his later major discoveries are, they could have definitely been used to harm others. So then also there's this aspect about the whole thing about time travel, and then that is the secrets of time travel are divinely protected. Tesla was the only inventor able to understand, build, and test the technology for time travel. And this was way back in the 1890s. And he was also the only human who could be trusted with it, the only inventor who could be trusted with it. That's my answer for that.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of people kind of forget as you're going through all the background on Tesla and all the amazing things that he did. When it comes to time travel, it's very important to remember that it's divinely protected.
Right. The enemy has never had it and they never will.
Right.
Can you touch on CERN a little bit? What are they doing up in CERN?
Well, CERN was taken over in December of 2018 by
the White. Yeah, I heard they was taken over by the White House. What were they doing before? Ripping holes in space-time and allowing interdimensional beings coming through and
well, they weren't. No, they weren't able to do anything like that. They never had enough power. They never had enough power to do that. Now in December of 2018, CERN was shut down. Why? To upgrade more power, because it's going to be needed during the rapture event.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. We have some more questions from Colin in Ireland, and he's asking about the New West. So he says, so in the New West, will there be any soul trap in that environment? When we die, do we ascend to the heavenly realms? Will recycling of the soul exist?
Good question. All right. So my answer for that, see, I've got this all typed out, guys, so I don't have to, I'm not really the best public speaker in the world, so that's why we always have scripts on our show. There will be no soul trap in the New West. The Earth system was not created with one, but the reptilian invaders, who were like 1,000 years ahead of humanity in their knowledge of advanced technology, they used their knowledge to flip the magnetics here And what they did, the original magnetics here was neutral. In other words, no charge. And then they flipped it to like be highly polarized. That's why, men and women are like, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. And there's so many, if you have black, you have to have white, that kind of thing. Their tech, whatever they set up with this kind of an overlay over God's creation of this polarized magnetics, somehow gave them the ability to recycle souls, to keep using them. So, and then I've not received any specific information on where people in the New West will go when they die, but it will likely be some type of an interdimensional zone built into the realm, just like here, kind of like the Abraham's bosom.
Great. Yeah, other question, one of the other two questions that Colin asked was, can a 7D individual exist in the 5D, 3D conditions on Sirius?
Okay, in the Sirius star system. I've always said that in Sirius, it'll be a 3D/5D environment. And some people are not going to feel comfortable in 5D, and some people aren't going to feel comfortable in 3D. So you can you just choose with your life choices of how tuned in you want to be to the creator and all that. That's your choice, because free will, total free will. All right, so 7D 7D exists only in the heavenly realm. But even here in the enemy's false construct matrix, if one lives in constant communication with Holy Spirit, he can operate much like Jesus did. In other words, it's possible to be in the matrix, but not of the matrix, because you're operating from within, like a bubble of the heavenly realm. When you're totally in communication with the heavenly realm, you're going to be like in this little safe pocket. And that's explained in the Everyday Warfare audiobooks, by the way, which is out on the channel.
Right. I'll put a link for that in the chat box as well.
Okay, cool.
And then the last part that Colin was asking about, he says, is humanity able to ascend, not knowing about the whole truth about everything that went on before them, or can people still ascend absolutely oblivious to what's going on around them?
And my answer for that is that the mid-range frequency is a very broad spectrum. You got the high frequency, that's a very narrow spectrum. You got the low frequency, it's low. That's a more narrow spectrum, but the mid-range is huge. So those in that range will be transformed and loaded with or without the entire truth. But everything they gained and embed into their experience will go with them and will accelerate their timeline build out. Of course, they'll all get the entire truth about Earth's history during the 3-day journey to the New West.
Okay, great. And then that covers the questions we've had from outside. Anybody else have any other questions or anything?
So you mentioned Tesla.
Yes.
And Elon earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any suspicion that Elon might be related to Tesla? I always thought that way. Elon remind me of that Star Trek character Q, in the demeanor, the way, the expression, and the arrogance and all that.
I never watched Star Trek, so I don't know who Q is.
There is a Q.
Really?
Time
yes, there is.
travel.
Okay.
And pop in unexpectedly to, across time, and very interesting character.
Cool.
Really annoyed.
I'll look up this Q Star Trek character.
Right. I just feel like he's the modern day Tesla, but not specialized in the same area. Tesla is mostly science. Elon mostly
physics and science, and
Right, right.
invention, whatever it takes to be an
Of
inventor.
course, he may not be the old Elon, but behind him, there must be some Tesla energy there. Otherwise, why would he name his company Tesla?
Right. It was a strange, it had to do with the fact that it was supposedly, like uh, wireless energy, I guess. But way back when he was still what I consider a very vacuous, unintelligent person who knew nothing. Either way, he knows nothing about space travel because there's no such thing inside the dome. But he was asked, about naming his company Tesla and asked if Tesla was his hero. And he said, well, actually, I have more respect for Thomas Edison. And they were the two that were, at the same time trying to be the ones who won out on what type of electrical system would be used here in America. And of course, from there, it would go all out to the world. So it was quite the battle between Edison and Tesla. But he said he respected Edison more than Tesla, believe it or not. His name supposedly names his own company Tesla, and then says he respects Edison more because Edison knew how to make money and Tesla
Right,
didn't.
right.
And
Tesla
that is just,
never had
it's
money.
total rubbish. All those stories about Tesla being, in poverty and never having enough money and writing letters to JP Morgan, begging for money like every other day, they're all made up by the enemy so that Tesla will be just like they try to put everybody that's against them down. They try to use the press to get them down. And none of that's true. He had 300 inventions, folks, and he was getting royalties for all of those inventions. Not all of them, because because he was such a humanitarian, like he was working with Westinghouse, and Westinghouse's business almost went under once, and Tesla gave him half of the royalties on some of his biggest inventions, just so Westinghouse could keep his company going. I mean, that's the type of person Tesla was. And he was not like some weird, what do they call it, where he has to can't step on cracks and has to count everything. He went through a very brief period of that when he was like a teenager, and he grew right out of it. And it never, he couldn't have gotten anything done if he had all those oddities about him that the press say that he had.
Well, he was a lot more interested in the inventions and the tasks and the things that he could do than the money that so many of his contemporaries were.
But he had a lot of money. He was independently wealthy for most of his life. All right, guys, we got to ask.
We got to go. Great questions tonight. Really good to see all of you, and we'll look forward to seeing you same time next week.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye.